And there are two giants on board, and at this point you're thinking, hey, I feel pretty safe. I have a taunt in play. I have ultimate infestation. Oh look, there's a third giant. There's a fourth giant. And some armor gain, why not? So okay, 4 giants on board. Well, who needs ultimate infestation? Who needs Raza? Who needs a Tark Reaper when you have got Shadow Reaper Anduin?
The light has betrayed me.
And at this juncture, all 4 giants are gone. And you feel pretty safe. You feel like you have an opportunity to stabilise. But look, double swipe to the face. So very unfortunate. It tilted me so much because I honestly felt that without the swipes, that I had a chance of winning.
No, your victory proves nothing.
So that was unfortunate. But my nightmare against these Giants decks would continue, yes, so still at rank 8 against a Warlock here. And yeah, there are 3 Giants on board. It is his turn. It was his turn 6. And unfortunately for me, this is one of these rare occasions where playing Reno Jackson on turn 6 and healing to 30 isn't actually enough. Because he has more than 30 damage on board. So drawing a card gets me a Loot Hoarder, which is of no value whatsoever here. So you start thinking, well, what about Kazakus? Well, what would Kazakus give me? A 1-cost potion? What's that going to do against Giants? And then you think, well, okay, maybe I play Shadow Visions and realise that, oh yeah, I do have Light Bomb in this deck, but if only I'd had a Light Bomb in my hand on turn 6, we would have had a chance of winning the game. Maybe. So, another unfortunate loss to Giants. So, I was feeling pretty down, and then I went up against a Warlock who played Blood Reaver Gul'dan, filled his board full of demons, and hey, those demons may as well be giants because they're so big. And I thought, not again, I've already lost games to giants, now I'm going to lose to demons too? Well, I had the answer. Kazakus potion in hand, thankfully. And well, yeah, we just turn the demons into sheep. And here's the interesting thing about Warlock decks. If they're not running Enzoth the Corruptor, then this second wave of demons, the resurrected demons, is essentially all that's left in the deck in terms of threats. So after the demons come back to life and then die again, there isn't much else for the deck to do. So you probably win the game, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, he had a Doom Guard, but yeah, Spawn of Shadows winning us the game here.
You win for now.
So that was a sweet victory, sort of letting me get my confidence back after losing all of those games to the Giant decks. So yeah, so Awedragon's Reno Enzoth Deathknight Priest. If you've been following my channel over the last few weeks, you'll have seen me play, the Enzoth Reno Deathknight Priest deck 2 or 3 times, I think. And so I've played 2 or 3 different versions of the deck, and for me, this feels like the most sort of balanced or the most sort of fluid and flexible version of the deck. And it's done pretty well for me because it took me to rank 5, and we are going to look at some games shortly which sort of demonstrate that progress to rank 5 and demonstrate, the sort of the flexibility of the deck. Now what's interesting here is that there are some very cheap Death Battle minions, Loot Hoarder, Crystalline Oracle. These are Death Battle minions that you probably don't want to bring back to life with Enzoth the Corruptor. But here's the thing. if you draw these minions in the late game, they combo very well with Shadow Reaper Anduin and a potential zero-cost hero power from Raza, because they're so cheap to play. So yeah, you probably want to consider drawing Crystalline Oracle and Loot Hoarder in the late game. That's pretty interesting, because usually you want to draw them very early on. The deck has good board clears, Dragonfire Potion, Light Bomb, Excavated Evil, but here's the real MVP. Actually, it's won me so many games now, and you know, that is Spawn of Shadows. So essentially, if you have the zero cost hero power, you play Spawn of Shadows, hero power, play a minion for damage. So in essence, it's 6 damage per additional card played with Spawn of Shadows, which is incredibly significant if you have cheap minions or spells in your hand. So, let's have a look at a game against a priest. It is more than likely going to be a mirror match of some kind. The question is, what kind of a deck is he playing? There are different versions, different iterations. Is he playing a Death Rattle heavy deck, for example? Or is he playing a spell heavy deck, maybe with Lyra, for instance? And these first few turns are usually filled with pass or heal your opponent's face and do nothing. Just building up resources here. And it is absolutely critical to note that I have Raza in my hand, and often it's a case of he who plays Raza first probably wins the game, especially if Anduin follows straight after. Now, Priest of the Feast. Interesting. This suggests to me that he's probably playing a more spell-heavy version of the deck. Really good against aggro. If you play Priest of the Feast and loads of cheap spells, you can heal up very, very quickly. Shadow Word Pain, of course he had it. Of course he had it in his hand. But there's Raza. And now this is absolutely critical, because now we're just waiting on Shadow Reaper Anduin. We have Spawn of Shadows in hand. Yeah, we are looking to end this game as quickly as possible. So Shadow Word Pain into Shadow Word Death, of course. And there's Anduin. So now we have to start calculating. How quickly can we kill him? So the Emperor comes down, and my assumption upon seeing that is that he has spells plus Lyra in hand. He's just cheapened everything. That's my assumption.
The light has betrayed.
So we have to kill the Emperor. That is absolutely essential. And in doing so, we develop Shadow Reaper Anduin with the hero power. So with the zero cost hero power, so that's pretty good. And then this hero power, which deals 2 damage, will now combo with Spawn of Shadows. But there is Lyra. And the question, of course, is how many spells is he going to get off here? Oh, just 1. So very unfortunate for him. Despite the Emperor discount, he must have some very heavy cards in his hand. So the question is, at 30 health, can I kill him with Spawn of Shadows?
Shadowy thoughts.
I don't think I can. So I'm just going to focus on killing Lyra. And I'm holding back with the Oracle here because cheap cards will combo very well with Spawn of Shadows, so absolutely important there just to hold back a little bit. Wow, and he does nothing. He's absolutely holding back. Again, makes me wonder, what does he have in his hand that he can't play? I mean, at 28 health, he probably feels relatively safe at this juncture. I mean, my board, you know, it's not the most threatening of boards. And he's actually dead. So yeah, Spawn of Shadows gets played there. And as I said earlier, for each additional card that you play, it's 6 damage, including the hero power. So 2 from my hero power, 4 from the Spawn of Shadows. It's pretty insane that we were able to win this game before his turn 10. That's insane.
Well played.
Wow. Okay, let's look at another game, and this time we're going up against a Shaman. So the assumption has to be that it's Evolved Shaman with tokens. That has to be the assumption. The other possibility is Aggro Shaman with Tunnel Trog and Lava Burst and 4 mana 7/7s that are so balanced. Yet Aggro Shaman with Trogs still exists on the ladder. I've come across it a couple of times. But yeah, this is more than likely Evolved Shaman, so... And here come the tokens. Now the tokens are pretty scary because eventually he'll look to fill the board and then bloodlust me down. So I actually think Doomsayer is worthwhile here. The question is, does he have an answer to it? Does he have Hex, for example? You saw in the early game that the priest had Shadow Word Pain when he needed it and was able to get rid of my Doomsayer. Unfortunately for the Shaman, there was no solution to that Doomsayer. And here comes Razar. So now we have the 0-cost hero power. We have to play the waiting game, and we're waiting on 2 cards. We're waiting on Shadow Reaper Anduin, and we are waiting on Spawn of Shadows. So we want to get Anduin first. That's important. Acolyte of Pain is going to help in terms of searching for Anduin, so we're going to do this in a slightly convoluted way here. We're going to draw a card. So we're guaranteeing at least 2 cards are going to be drawn from this Acolyte. And we're clearing the most threatening aspects of his board. And I don't know if healing the Acolyte was correct there. I did it in the hopes that maybe it would guarantee me at least another card and that maybe he'll just ignore it for a bit. He was targeting Razar with something there. My assumption would have been Jade Lightning, but even if I'd healed Razar, he has a spell power totem up, so Jade Lightning still would have killed Razar. So I guess healing the Acolyte was a better option then. So the card draw continues here. But what is critical is that Raza lives. Despite all of that, despite the AoE, we still managed to keep Raza alive, and that's important here. Okay, there's the Jade Lightning, sure. So, Blood Mage Thalnos is just going to be used here as card draw mechanic and nothing more. Again, we are searching for Anduin, we're searching for Spawn Shadows. If he does manage to clear my board and flood, I have Dragonfire Potion, I have Reno, so I have Light Bomb, I have all of the solutions that I need to win this game. And that's an interesting play. He uses Maelstrom Portal there on one minion. And I think his objective is to just go ultra wide on the board, to flood the board, to set up for Bloodlust. And as we head to turn 10, double Bloodlust becomes a major risk factor. So, do you know what? We need to clear the board here. We really do. And I'm happy to use Dragonfire Potion there to do it. The only issue, of course, is that Dragonfire Potion is good against bigger minions and bigger threats. And here's the worry. Yeah. He's now going to cast Evolve. And that's actually quite a threatening board. I mean, Dragonfire Potion here wouldn't have killed all of the minions on this board. So, yeah, a bit awkward. And strangely, Light Bomb still leaves something alive as well, which is unfortunate. Not that it would have made any difference, but I probably should have drawn the card first. Anyway, it's fine. So, more commitment to the board. Thankfully we have Light Bomb. However, it's very important to note at this point that we've used Dragonfire Potion and we've used Light Bomb, which are our two big clears in this deck. So I'm actually just playing Tempo Bran here, just to contest the board, just to get something down. Unfortunately, Tempo Bran does not contest a 4-4. However, Bran is still alive, which leaves Kazakus open as an option. So we're going for 10 cost. Out of these options, I actually value the armour to put us out of Bloodlust range. And I don't mind summoning the friendly minions. I mean, that can give you some value. Of course, the only problem is there is a Doomsayer in this deck, and you don't want to bring back the Doomsayer. And I'm actually using Valen's Chosen here, just to put a bit of a roadblock in the way there for that 4-4. So the potion here seems relatively sensible. We bring some threats back to life, and we bring a Doomsayer back to life, of course. And that's actually incredibly unfortunate. Our board is about to get wiped out. The only thing that's positive about this situation is that our hand still outvalues his hand massively. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So, hey, Deathlord, doing some work. Yeah, no evolving for this shaman. That's pretty good. So, we can play the second potion. Why not? Oh my god, and we get the Doomsayer back again. What are the chances of that? 2 potions, right? 2 potions in a row, and we get double bloody Doomsayer. It's still not a bad thing, because initiative goes back to us. He couldn't do anything last turn. So we are still in control, and if a Manatide Totem is the best that he can muster here, I really don't see how he wins the game. There is Spawn of Shadows. So, I guess we go for it, right? I guess we go for Shadow Reaper Anduin.
The light has betrayed me.
And the question is, do we go face or do we kill the totem? I'm going to kill the totem. And once again, holding back on the Oracle there because we have Spawn of Shadows. Oracle plus Spawn of Shadows. You know, cheap cards combo very well together. So, interesting. Jade Lightning. Can he kill it? I guess not. So, going really wide on the board here, probably hoping for Bloodlust, but it's over, just like that. And because our health total is so significant, the damage that we are taking from Spawn of Shadows means absolutely nothing. So 2 damage from the hero power, 4 damage from Spawn of Shadows every time we play, you know, another card. So yeah, feels pretty good.
Well played.
Okay, so just going to look at a couple of final highlights here on our journey to rank 5. Now, against Pirate Warrior, this feels so very good. Reno Jackson healing us for 27, getting to 30. And at this point, if you're the Pirate Warrior, you know that it's over. Let's contrast this to the earlier games against the Giant decks with the Druid and the Warlock at the start of this video. I had Reno in hand in one of those games, and it was turn 6. But healing to 30 actually would have done nothing for me, because the damage from the Giants on board, you know, was more than 30. So, yeah. But it's always a good feeling, a great feeling, when you can beat Pirate Warrior with Reno Jackson. And here's the game that took me to rank 5 with this deck. It was a mirror match. The difference being that I had played Raza and got my 0 cost hero power, and he still had to pay 2 for his hero power. So this is actually really, really important. My damage output is now greater than his. Spawn of Shadows coming down. And yeah, finish him off with Thalnos. There's 2 to the face, plus an additional 4, that's 6. And we had just enough health there to survive, you know, the damage that was being dealt to us as well. And there's the bonus streak. into rank 5. Feels really good. So, with the upcoming nerfs to Druid, I do think that Priest is going to be king of the ladder on Wild Mode. You know, it's just so good. With Wild Mode, with so many more cards being available to choose from, of course, experimentation will continue, refinements will continue, people will continue trying out different combinations of cards in the deck just to see what works, what doesn't work. And I expect that process to continue for at least a few more weeks before people settle on more sort of optimal or optimized decks. So overall, I like the fluid nature of the deck with some good cheap early game which can be very good against aggressive decks. Moving into some solid mid game. Notice the emphasis on taunt minions, Deathlord, Tar Creeper, Sludge Belcher. You know, very, very good against aggro. And then moving into the late game, of course, with Razar and Shadow Reaper Anduin, and then finishing off your opponent, of course, with Spawn of Shadows. So a really, really fun deck. It's my favourite iteration of Enzoth, Reno, Deathknight Priest, and yeah, I guess I'll continue playing it and look to continue refining it. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe, and I will see you all again very soon for more Hearthstone fun.